Hello, and welcome to another Schmuel Talk. Fucking Schmuel Talk. I'm here,
It's
Dave
Schmuel
Sarah.
Talk with
And that's
Schmuel
Schmuel
and Dave.
Buckman.
Hey, Dave. I am all...
Hi, Schmuel.
I'm akimbo here. Hold on. Totally akimbo. So
I hope it's guns akimbo.
I downloaded a bunch of shit for our show last night, and apparently I left it on a memory card down in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Why does my hat look like I'm a 7-year-old? Hold on.
Come on, Tyke. It's like somebody just slapped it on you in the Sandlot.
I want to look like you cool kids.
That's right. So I was
Hey,
on
look
with
at
Felicia
that.
last night.
Say that one more time, pal.
I was on with Felicia last night.
Really? How did that go?
Yeah. It's pretty fun. I was drunk, but it was pretty fun.
Cool. I hope she wasn't driving.
She was not driving. She was stationary.
Cool.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm her new producer now. Just like Nice Podcast Stupid says. Hi, Dan. Yeah. I'm her
Nice
new producer
podcast.
now.
Stupid. Hey, Dan, you Felicia's new producer?
So she actually ran into the same issue that I ran into. For some reason, she's never been able to share the sound on StreamYard. And that is because she's been using Firefox this whole time. And apparently, well, not apparently, but like I had the same issue. You can't use Firefox with fucking StreamYard. It's kryptonite. So
She needs to get rid of that flashing mic. That thing makes me crazy.
it's an e-girl mic. So it was good though. I mean, it was fine. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, as far as Felicia's new producer, we know that Dave is doing it, then that'll definitely get her some views. She'll increase. You'll be great. Dave's got a new haircut.
Yeah, I got a new fucking haircut. Looks good.
You look like a stud with your little V-neck shirt, your little hair's hanging out.
Thank you. I like the
What an
V-necks. Because I don't otherwise
Armenian hot now.
I feel like I'm being choked.
Hey, so did
With a round
you see, just to get started, let's see, Dave. Nice podcast, Stupid. Dave, if I set up
you
Rumble
won't.
through StreamYard, will I be able to say, no.
Rumble Rats on YouTube? No.
I was looking at
Timu
that
Dave.
Evmux.
Timu
And,
Mux.
Yeah, and it said, what do you call it? I don't know. The guy that I was watching on YouTube, it seemed like you could set it up with Evmux through Rumble, but one never knows.
You gotta try these things a lot of times.
Yeah.
Pineapple says don't use Evmux, it's shit.
Who says that?
The pineapple.
Really? Because what's his name? Dixon likes it a lot. And
Yeah.
all right, my internet may reset in about 10 seconds. So
Okay. Well, no, that's less than 10 seconds. But yeah, yesterday was chill with Felicia. We watched some cringy stand-up. We both put out our guilty pleasure stand-ups. And we both showed each other our Kill Tony sets, and they went just as you thought. Cringy and embarrassing as fuck. But yeah, you're back now.
cool.
All right. By the way, too, so today Pete Lee is supposed to be on Ray DeVito's show. I know this because Gino talked to Pete Lee today, and he said that he was doing Ray DeVito's show. And Gino was going to, but he didn't end up doing this. He was going to text Pete Lee and be like, hey, why don't you ask Ray if I can do a guest set on the show? And then he thought, that might not be the best position to put Pete in.
Oh, this is the show at the Stand?
Yes.
Because I was thinking Ray will have anybody on his YouTube stream.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he would love to have Pete Lee on his I bet he's gonna ask Pete Lee if he can do his his podcast tomorrow. I guess he's out here because his place in LA is getting they're doing the insurance job on some fires and stuff like that. So the insurance company's paid for his time out here.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I like him. I think he's a funny comic.
I don't know him that well, but I will tell you that it's amazing how little money comics make. Like everything has to be, I feel bad. I feel bad.
Well, here's the thing though, too. Like, I don't know what they're doing at the stand is if it's half full for Ray's show. Like Ray doesn't get paid any money at all.
No,
he makes maybe a couple $100. He has to. That's crazy that he doesn't.
I am of the opinion that Ray does get paid. I don't know that it's a lot, but I do know that he does get paid.
Because again, I understand that this is a different situation because it's Ray. He's got to bring in his people. He's not as big as, let's say, I'm going to use this name again, Sam Tripoli, just because I know sort of the ins and outs, sort of like he throws a show once a month on Tuesdays also called Comedy Chaos. And like he's got on, he'll have on Eliza Schlesinger or Trevor Wallace or Tony Rock and shit like that. He pays them $300 each. And there's Tim Dillon pays him $300 to do 15 minutes. There's usually like 6 comics or 7 comics. A couple of them get paid a little bit less, and he walks home with like $5,000.
Wow.
Or was $4,000 or something.
I know he's not getting that, but I do know because I do know the comics get paid, and it's not like anything I know about, like that Ray told me. I just happened to be there when somebody was asking for their money. So, and whatnot. Yeah, Ray is back in New York. He's been, today's one of those days where Ray's been calling me like every 5 minutes.
Really? What is he asking for now?
Nothing. You know what it is? I think what happens is he just gets bored.
Yeah.
And then he feels like, he can call me.
Right.
And
I should give him my number.
Oh, you should, because I don't have, the problem is that he calls and then I say, I'll call you later. And then I never call him back because I forget.
Yeah.
And then he calls me again. And then I like talk to him. And then he remembers what he called me for in the first place. And he forgot to tell me. And we go on from there. And KB, yes, the answer is Dave did get a haircut and he looks fantastic, doesn't he?
And yes, I have had my head shaved. That's why the bald spot won't grow back, because I shaved it like 4 years ago. It's on that episode of Kill Tony. I have a shaved head. That second one at Antone. So let me go check on the pizza real quick. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, they used to say that about my grandfather. So apparently I look like my grandfather. But I was a ginger. I could actually show you a picture of how gingery I was, but I was big time ginger. And I kept my hair mostly I was up until my 50s. My grandfather had a head of red hair, went in the military. They shaved his head in basic training and it never grew back. But I understand from Dr. Steve, that's not the way that this actually works. So I have been lucky. This is what I have now.
Yeah, I mean, my hair wasn't really growing there in the first place, but just shaving it just kind of put the nail in the coffin for it. Oh, well. I'll have to go back to shaving it eventually. It doesn't look terrible from the front. My profile looks funky as fuck when I have a shaved head. I look like a fucking turtle. Like a shit turtle.
The back of my head looks like a cement wall, man. It's flat.
I'm kind of flat.
It's awful. I don't know how they fit all those brains in there. But,
brains.
Yeah, I have to laugh about this one. Echo Pineapple, time to bully Schmuel, everyone. This is from a guy who uses a pineapple filter and
I
has a
saw
fridge full of Diet
Doom had
Pepsi,
a
like he couldn't afford Diet Coke.
Doom had a tweet about Echo recently, which was like he posted some screenshots that's in Echo's intro, I guess, and it's like these random screenshots of these random individuals, and I just want to know what that's about. That's some random ass shit. At first, I thought the dude with the big ears was Echo, but the teeth don't match.
Oh, he also, Echo is very private. Doesn't want people to know who he is.
Doesn't mind spreading other people's privacy.
No, he's not. I've never known him to.
No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I'm fucking around.
Unless he's given out my name and my phone number. I
never said the word docs.
I did like when they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's from your intro.
I did like when they were trying to do.
Never trust a fruit. That's right, Roach. Never trust a fruit. And never beg for money. Okay, sorry, Schmuel. I didn't mean to take over. Go on.
That's all right. I'm just a host. Hey, Roachy, how much is a pack of smokes in the UK?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do they have darts back there?
When I was
we know, Echo. I'm just fucking with you.
When I was a young boy of 14 or 15, I was dating a girl from a really wealthy Manhattan family. She used to go to England all the time, but she would come back and she would bring English cigarettes, and it was like just cool the way the pack opened, but it was Dunhill 20. Holy shit. Do you roll your own?
I can't. I can't.
I was in a cigar store yesterday, and they also sell like pipe tobacco and regular tobacco, and they have a cigarette rolling machine. And so the woman said that they actually have like classes on how to roll your own cigarettes with this machine. But she said the machine that sells more than any other uses pre-shaped tubes. So by the time you're done buying the tobacco and the pre-shaped tubes, you're paying about $8 a pack. And in New Jersey, I think it's like 12 or 13 for a pack of smoke. So like, is it even worth it? I don't even know how much the machine costs.
I don't know. I did one of those pack your own cigarette things once. I got like 300 cigarettes for $100, I think. No. I got 500 cigarettes for $100. No, I don't even remember now. No, I can't even think about it. Okay, packs. I got 30 packs for $100.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't
and they were
smoked
okay,
but cigarette probably in like 30 years.
Yeah, you know what's funny? So my friend Corey worked at one of these higher end weed retailers. I think it's called High Life, which is a hacky ass name for a bud store. But he said that they had a proprietary machine that made the joints, and that they wouldn't show him the machine. Only certain people could go into that room and see the machine. And I guess it grinds up the weed on the top. They had it custom made. Grinds up the weed at the top, and then it like shakes, and then you just remove the tubes, and you take like a little piece of like a little file, almost like a piece of wood, and just kind of crimp the edges and throw it into the stack. Pull it, crimp the edges, throw it into the stack. But they would do like, you know, a shit ton of cigarettes, a shit ton of joints at once. It was. But yeah, there's like all kinds of these little custom machines. Like when I was selling machinery, people were always trying to buy these laminating presses so they can make rosin, or like make like weed rosin. Basically, you just basically steam and press it as hard as you can, and it fucking and it coagulates it and turns it into like a rosin, and it's like way more potent. And you take shit weed and you turn it into good weed, like extract.
I know a guy in Queens who was telling me I've known him for years, and he's owned a tobacco store forever and forever. And once the weed shop started opening, he was losing money, but he wouldn't sell it illegally. So he brought in his loser nephew, who'd spent time in jail on a drug crime, meaning that the nephew was eligible to move to the top of the list because he'd been affected by marijuana laws in the past. And
No shit.
They got their weed license. Yeah. But he was saying, like, he used to sell, like, look, he would sell he would sell tobacco, right? And pipes and all, but it was a lot of like weed stuff, just not the weed.
Someone's been in jail.
Just not the weed. And but all the accoutrement that would go along with it. And then he said once the weed shop started opening, that business went into the toilet because nobody needed rolling papers anymore, right? Nobody needed bombs, all that other stuff. So you had to get into this in order to stay in business.
Dude, I wonder if they did that in California because I was affected by marijuana laws and stuff like that. I went to jail fucking 4 times for weed.
I don't know.
If
New York
moves me to the top of the list.
New York has some weird things. There's an illegal weed shop around the corner from my office, which when they opened, they spent a shit ton of money getting this thing all done up with dispensary and everything. And the store sign itself had to have been $25,000. They never got their license, but they opened up anyway. And then they were doing fine. And then the city decided to close them all down. They came in, they closed them all down. And now the weed dispensary sign is down. And they put up a half-ass sign where the dispensary was turned into the word deli. And it says deli on it, but you can't get in except through a buzz door. So I'll tell a weed story back from the days when I used to do this shit. Mull nose, dried banana peel, and Bible paper. Well, Mull, back when I was in the military, there used to be Bibles everywhere. And one night we wanted to smoke a little weed and had no papers. And the thinnest paper we could find was from the Bible that was sitting in the front room. And we were tearing out pages of the Bible and smoking weed. And Reverend Obi, who was also, I think he might have been like a sergeant of some sort, one day went to go get the Bible to quote something to somebody, and the pages were missing, and he was very upset. But I don't think they let you have, I don't think you can do the Bibles in the military anymore, but I have no idea.
Really?
Like you can have your own, but they were like in public. They were like, I work.
I know what you mean. They're like at church or the chapel and stuff like that.
Right. And then you could have your own, but like I worked at a clinic, and in the waiting room of the clinic, there were Gideon Bibles. And then like when I first went in, when I went into the military, you got a pack from the American Red Cross, and there was a little Bible in there. So
yeah. Well, I know that the MREs my brother brought back from like when he was in the military in like 2000 and 2000. He'd bring these little MREs. I remember they'd had these cute little Tabasco things, like these little Tabasco jars, and then it'd have like a little flat book Bible, like a little tiny one, like almost paper. And then you could read it and stuff like that. Yeah. And then towards like the 2010s, they stopped putting them in there.
Yeah.
May have been certain brands too.
They definitely got away from that stuff. But
with the weed license thing, so there was like a thing here in Montebello where a bunch of these Armenians, so like the Armenians won the bid. They had to bid like $300,000 for the only license for a weed shop in Montebello. They completely failed and floundered. Well, not the weed shop. They can grow weed in Montebello, which nowadays growing weed in California, whereas it used to be very economical, even like if you were doing it indoor, doing it indoor now in California is like very difficult unless you go out into like the fucking outskirts. With the Chinese, the Armenians, and the fucking Mexicans, they all went up like past Calabasas towards the Grapevine. They all put up shanties up there, and they're just growing indoor weed up there now, and they sell it for like $1,000 a pack, you know. But you got to buy 100 of them. But it's indoor OG. It's like the best type of weed. It's like you could technically sell those packs. You know, if you piece it out, you can make, you know, $2,000-$3,000. If you're a dispensary, it's worth it. So you're tripling your money, but it's nothing. But it's not anything like it used to be. It used to be way crazier. Now all the really, really, really good weed in California gets sent out to out-of-towners because they pay more for it. So like if you live in, not so much Nebraska anymore. Nebraska's growing a lot of weed, but Ohio, like the places where they really crack down on the weed growing stuff, they pay a premium. Sometimes up to like $5,000 for the premium pounds of weed.
I know in Ohio, my nephew's a lawyer there, and he was telling me he defended a guy for growing weed. This has probably got to be 7-8 years ago, maybe more. The way they busted the guy was by his electric bill. Like they knew because of his electric bill was so high. It was like a residence, but the guy's electric bill was thousands of dollars because he had a grow lab there. Yeah, and they just took the data and went through the data, and that was what led them to be suspicious. And then they sat outside the guy's house, saw people coming and going, and then that was enough to get a search warrant. All right. One second. I constantly fail to mention the Aussie guy, who's one of my favorite people, who's always here, and I watch his show every Sunday morning. Not that Echo Aussie crap, but the real, you know, the United States of Australia show with one of my favorite YouTube people, Robbie the Mariner fan. But I have been told, Aussie guy, that in Australia, cigarettes are $37 to $40 a pack, and almost all illegal cigarettes come through a Lebanese community.
Okay.
That was in not where the Aussie guy is, but in New South Wales. My cousin was a cop there for a long time, and but something about Australia is great because the guy turned 40 and he was able to retire. Go figure. His big claim to fame was when Prince Harry came to Australia, he was one of Prince Harry's bodyguards, and Prince Harry was eating cereal, and he wanted this guy to sit down and have cereal with him, and he wasn't allowed to do it. So, but I've given up the weed and all that stuff. 3 years ago, I think I had a bit of a problem. With. I've always had insomnia and stuff like that, and I had what you folks called, I guess it's called neuropathy, but so I guess people with diabetes get it in their hands and feet. Yeah. But this was occurring. This was in my core, in my body. So it was like from my neck to my hips. And
neuropathy, I think, is when your nerves start to degenerate, right?
Right. So they couldn't
your fingertips.
Sort of, yeah. But they couldn't figure it out. It's not diabetic related. It wasn't any of those things. And so one doctor convinced me that the only solution was to smoke weed or take weed, and gave me a medical. I got a medical card. I tried it, and my sponsor in a 12-step program was freaking out. But I also chose that I'd rather live with the neuropathy than be the asshole that my wife thought I became when I smoked weed. And in the end, it turned out a medication that I was taking was what was causing it.
So when you were taking the weed, were you smoking it or ingesting it?
Smoking.
Okay.
I was vaping. I was using a vape pen.
Yeah, the vape pens too. I'm not a huge fan of them. They don't make me feel right. I just use some nice flour. Get some nice flour. And that's call it a day. Smoke my little pipe.
What?
Call it a day.
You know how women are though, right? Like I think I'm hilarious, and she thinks I'm an asshole. And
Well, women aren't funny.
but the deal was I couldn't. I did it for just a couple of months. I couldn't reconcile being sober and smoking at the same. Or I'm saying smoking weed, whatever. Smoking weed, even though it was medically prescribed. If I could get it so it wouldn't fuck me up mentally. You farting there, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, if I could have figured that out, I would have done it. But anyway, oddly enough, what happened is I go off a medication, and the neuropathy goes away, and the doctor's like, no, that's not what's causing it. I'm crazy, and like 4 or 5 months later, they put me back on it, and 2 weeks after I went back on it, it all came back again. So it's just. The way that I describe it is they call it neuropathy, but really what it is, it's like your skin is on fire. So everything, like your shirt hurts, like everything hurts. It was really, really brutal.
You know, the one and only time I got COVID, that I felt it, actually. I tested positive a couple times for it, but the only time that it really ever affected me was like when I got the Delta strain, I think. I was like in August of 2021, probably. I had never gotten a cold like that before, and it did the same shit. My back, my arms, all tingling. Felt like everything was asleep, but also on fire. Right. I had to take my shirt off. I had to sleep on my chest. I had crazy diarrhea, but
yeah. Interestingly enough, I started the medication about the same time I got COVID, and that's what they just kept saying. They just kept saying, "Oh, it's COVID. It's long COVID. It's long COVID." And it turned out that it wasn't. So luckily we're here today and I am fine. So
well, this is how you fill time when you forget the
Andromeda
digital assets.
No, I can pull them up. I don't know whether I want to start with Alec and Keanu or I want to start with
no, let's hit the banger, baby.
Is the dabbleverse dying? So let's.
Is the dabbleverse dying? Come on.
Yeah, I want to put up. Is it fading? Did you see your boss today?
I watched a little bit of him. I couldn't catch too much. I was busy working today.
I don't know. Today he was equating himself with Richard Jenny, so I didn't know if he was planning on ending his permanent stream, if you know what I mean. And
the big stream in the sky.
The other night I was watching him, and I'm like, he's broken, man. He's just broken. I don't know how else to put it, but let's go into something else.
Broken.
This is
he's
pretty
number one, dude. I don't know what you mean.
Well, in his mind, he is. But
the statistics say.
I want to. At some point, we'll discuss. I was listening to him today, and talk about a guy that doesn't understand. He really does think that YouTube is ripping him off, but he just doesn't understand it. Yes, the Andromeda Strain, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Both can be right. YouTube can be ripping off, and he can also be delusional. But YouTube definitely does come at a premium.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it with the super chats and stuff. But do you know how expensive it would be for you to maintain your own videos, to be able for people to pull them up 24 hours a day? Like, it's not,
I understand. And the same way Patreon. Go on.
No. It's like a lot of guys that are in entertainment, they're like, they think they're the thing, and they are to a degree, but they're only a part of it, because without the stuff in the back, you could be funny as you want, but nobody's ever going to see it.
Look, YouTube is pretty much the only game in town. Everything else is an offshoot. It's a lesser quality. They were first in show, best in class. You know what I mean? Like, first to market, best in class. Also, like, everything about it comes at a premium. You get to have your video, like you said, hosting your own shit costs money. That's why Patreon can charge $9 or 9% or 8%, whatever because they're not paying exorbitant amounts of money on hosting, so they can charge their 9%. Whereas YouTube, they're hosting, it's a whole slew of everything. It's a complete social media system. And
Right.
honestly, the super chat stuff is still kind of new in the grand scheme of things. It really didn't really come out until 2017, 2018, 2017, maybe 2016. Like, only certain channels got it at first, and then they got bigger and bigger. Whenever, I think E3 or H3, they were kind of like one of the first big ones to start getting a shit ton of super chats. And I think back then it was only 20%. I could be wrong about that, but
most shows, most successful shows that get super chats, the super chats are a part of their show, right? Like, they don't do the show because of super chats. They have other means of making money and stuff. But when it comes to KB, it's strictly it's a super chat led show. If he didn't get super chats, there'd be no show.
That's exactly what it is. And if he's all cut up, he leaves. Hey man, it's an interactive show. I don't know what to tell you. It's like you pay to play. You pay, you try to make them laugh. You want to talk, bring up a subject. That's just how it works. It's like a conversation. It doesn't work for everybody. You need to be a very special cunt to do it, to get it, to be able to pull it off in most situations. Because
right, but if you can pull it off,
99%
if you can pull it off like he's doing, I mean, he may only be getting 60% of a super chat, but that 60% is like, manna from heaven, because there is no alternative. You wouldn't be able to do this any other way.
But you also have to understand too, like with the I forgot what I was gonna say right now. God damn it! I read this fucking app. He goes, or he can become the king of Rumble. I'm like, he could become the king of Rumble. Oh, this is what I was saying is that you're not gonna get any like, oh, my father was in the hospital, you brightened up my day kind of fucking donations. And imagine if you did, he would eviscerate you, and it would be. And again, I said this on Stallion stream. I said this like on his video. I commented this on the video. I commented this on Twitter. I said, but anytime anybody ever talks about KB, they don't just go after him. They always have to preface it with, he's the funniest guy, or he's hilarious, except just like when Kumia was watching his dash cam footage. The guy goes, so why are you speeding? He goes, because I was in a hurry, so there you go. And Kumia starts laughing. He goes, okay, so that was funny. But, no buts. Somebody comments and they said, same thing they do with LeBron. LeBron's the best player ever, but, no buts. He's the best player ever.
Kevin,
it's either him or MJ. So
Kevin's show... Kevin could never pull off that show if he wasn't talented. I mean, he's talented, and that's why he can do it. If somebody else tried to do that, they'd just fail miserably.
But he did that show for 7 years before. That was the show, MLC.
But he wasn't doing it every day, and he was only doing it once in a while, and he had a studio.
And then look how that turned out.
And he was getting paid. So,
$100 a week.
I don't know how it turned out because I didn't really
him.
know anything about it.
Made no money from Riotcast. Made no money from he made $100 from Compound. He just did the show to have the studio and yada yada blah blah blah, which is a pretty good deal. And then he'd come in studio with Compound and do it for $100. But again, they did that for 7 years and it didn't make any money. And then sure, this thing is kind of new, but he was still doing Burning Bridges in 2019, and then slowly seeing, MLC was growing, and he was doing interviews, and he did all that. He interviewed Whitney Cummings' sister, Ashley Cummings. Yeah, he interviewed fucking Lenny Dykstra. It's just funny. Those are good episodes. I like those, and he should do more interview. And he threw one at us this last month or a couple months ago. with that mobster guy with the book. But you know, I would like for him to get back to some of the interview kind of stuff because he is pretty funny. He's pretty funny.
He was doing stand up back then. This is it. I agree with you, but Dave, I mean, the name of his old show was Burning Bridges. Has he burned so many bridges he's not going to get interviews like he used to?
No, because most of these people that he'd ask for interviews, they're always one and dones anyway, and they're never people that know Kevin Brennan. So it's like if you type in Kevin Brennan's name in Google, it's not like piece of shit cocksucking fucking asshole comes up. You know, it's just Kevin Brennan and his credits. Oh, they're not only super inside industry people really know who Kevin Brennan is, other than the fans. And the fans that are his fans and the people that know him already know the deal. You know? So you can't be offended by it. He's a prickly motherfucker. He's an insufferable bastard. Carlos Danger.
But he's not fat.
He's not fat, I guess. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Boy, Honk the Clown yesterday was going off on Carlos Danger. He really doesn't like that guy. Honk I was on BYB with him, and Honk was talking about how Carlos Danger is like this piece of shit, manipulative. But I'm not saying any of this. I'd like to hear the evidence. I like Carlos Danger from what I know, but I like Honk the Clown too. Now, it is a little difficult to trust Honk the Clown because, you know, his sentences seem like they can come off the rail at any time. So, you know, when you're listening to the beginning of the sentence, you don't even know if it's gonna ever end or if it's gonna like not get anywhere. Kind of like my sentence. But he seemed pretty heated and like he had some evidence on him of him being a piece of shit. I don't remember specifically what.
He was vicious, man. He was like Carlos and Brian Spears belong in jail and all the shit they did on their old show and all that other stuff. And I have no idea. It's like I never know until like there's actual evidence. Is this just shtick or is this legit? You know? And but I'll tell you what, the level of anger that he was expressing made it seem like he really was into it. Honk is very difficult to follow. Yeah, I do like Honk chiming up every now and then or watching him, what's the word? Like all of a sudden like wig out and he's like, oh man, those mushrooms just hit me. I mean, I kind of, that shit,
yeah, man,
I find that funny, but
right now.
I do find that he and Yinghui on BYB, I don't know, you know.
There's a lot of monotoneness going on that show. The one thing I love Quadfather to death, but it is that show. One thing that pisses me off about Quadfather is that he does this thing with his sentences, so it's hard to follow when he's done talking or when he's going to continue because he starts off strong and then trails off, and then you think he's going to finish, but then he starts off strong again and trails off again, and then starts off strong again and trails off, and it's like and he does kind of like this like leaning forward kind of, so you kind of get his rhythm. So like when he leans forward, you know he's going to kind of like say something again. So it's kind of hard because he goes. And then he kind of like has to like take a breath and yeah, well, we just, anyway. So, but I know I love those guys, but 3 hours is tough to do 3 days a week.
It's a lot. I also, that's what you're talking about is I had trouble doing that show in the beginning because I would finding myself constantly interrupting Quad because I thought he'd stopped.
Right. And I'm telling you, he got this whole new setup and his miraculous new shit and it looks so much better. However, he kept the same headphones, and I think there's a very high. I think there's an MS, like I think there's a slight delay in his headphones that is like causing an exponential delay over everything too. Because depending on some, anyway.
All right. Anyway, So let's get into the meat.
Let me just address this real quick. And no, I didn't get booted. I had already podcasted a lot that day, and then Pat Dixon came on, and I don't want to like. I tend to take over conversations and take over a show when I'm on it. So the best way for me not to do that is just to leave and just let them interview Pat Dixon, and I can come on Povo whenever. But I thought that was a fun time. I like shitting.
You
on,
taking over shows? I can't believe it.
I know. Well, I mean,
Quad. This is hold on. Why is this not going up? Oh,
sorry, I put it up too. Go.
The Aussie guy, the drinking game for BYB. Drink every time Quad says indeed. You know, they were making fun of Steel Toe for remarkable because he says remarkable right a lot. And I remember listening to Opie and Anthony, and I wanted to take a shot every time Opie would say, obviously. I know. I can't do voices, and the ones that I can do would get me banned from YouTube.
Hey, doggy.
Doggy.
Yeah.
I'm here with Doggy. And, man, he's become a bitter fuck with this Anthony Cumia stuff.
He needs to go full on. I'm not sure if he's capable, but he needs to channel his inner Brennan and just go scorched earth and just fucking fuck this guy, unfunny, talentless piece of shit. Start naming names in Sirius or whatever. Go back to old stories. Start calling people cocksucker. Like, just full on scorched earth. Try to, to do your best KB impression. That's all. That's the only advice I got for Greg.
Yeah, I don't know that he can, because I think a lot of the stuff that he says when he's like, I know things. He doesn't really know anything. He doesn't really have anything to say. But in 3 minutes, we are going to get into the meat of this podcast, which is about my rethinking Keanu, Alec Baldwin, and some other stuff. But I have to bring this chat up. Menthol X. Liam annoyed him. I don't know who you're talking about. Let be quiet. Yeah, let me talk. I don't know who you're talking about there, menthol, but I will say this. So I watched part of the Povo stream. I was watching it the next day, and Liam was on. And Liam said some pretty horrific shit about Pat Dixon. And Dixon has essentially challenged Liam. So the deal is that Liam accuses Pat Dixon of doing drugs, and he was on a drug stream and all sorts of stuff. And Dixon has said that he is willing, and this was within the period of time, he is willing to take a drug test that will go back 6 months. I don't know whether it's a hair test or something else that will go back 6 months, but it's either $500 or $1,000, and Liam has to put it up, and Pat will put his up. Liam has apparently not taken the offer, but watching this Povo stream, Liam's on talking Liam stuff. Pat Dixon comes on, Liam takes off, gets off the stream. Pat leaves, Liam comes back on. Liam says, "Oh, I didn't want it to become about a fight between me and another comedian, and that's why I left, because I didn't want to take over the show. This is your show," etc., etc. Ray comes on, and as soon as Ray comes on, Liam is like, "You've been talking shit about me. Where's the evidence?" So this had nothing to do with Liam not wanting to take over the show because of a fight. Liam didn't want to face Dixon, and I will stand by that. So
that's believable.
There you go, Liam.
That's totally believable. I mean, I literally got off because I just met Dixon. Hello, hi, nice to meet you. And then I got off camera. It's late, and but I see what you mean. But then doesn't it just make you? Yeah, okay, you're right. It's probably he's scared of Dixon. But it's also, he could just be like, that just proves that like his beef with Ray isn't really real. It's more like playful, and Ray just kind of takes it out of context. Potentially.
I just feel like if it was for convenient for Liam to say that it was playful, he would say that it was playful. But in reality, I think it's serious. I think he's really mad at Ray. He said it when he was on our stream. He was, oh, Ray's talking about me and saying stuff about me to other people. And then we watched that Keith and the Girl shit show the other night, and he was going after Ray on it. I just think he feels like it's easy to go after Ray, and Dixon would not be able to do that with Pat. You know, that Pat would destroy him in a contest of wits. But there we go. All right, so we're at 45 minutes and 33 seconds, so this always goes fast. But ask the question is, do you guys remember this from last week? And I guess I should present it, put it up. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da.
All right, Stud Joe.
We all ready there? Let's go.
I snap your neck in half and break your neck right over. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen.
Alec Baldwin lost his temper and threatened comedian Jason the comedian, who was trying to get a reaction from him. The video begins with comedian Jason Scoop, popularly known as a Trump impersonator, calling Baldwin a murderer and demanding
Let's remember how Jason Scoop is described here.
that he kiss his ring in exchange for a presidential pardon.
I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman. If you kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right?
As Alec was endorsing Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential election campaign, the comedian also took a dig at Kamala's loss to Trump.
Right? He did that impersonation to me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated.
Alex tried to ignore the comedian and stay composed when the comedian labeled the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins as first-degree murder. However, he lost his cool when the comedian said that Helena must be watching from heaven and would be happy to see Baldwin being confronted for her murder.
She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me. And that's okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You realize,
Whoa.
no, look at me. I want you to
Yeah,
realize.
sure.
You know, you got a camera on me?
The ring? No, it's the ring.
You realize my kids live in this building.
There's an echo, Buckman.
From me,
I mean,
I'll tell you what. Let me mute myself while
it could be from the video, I guess.
No, you know what it is. I had to open the door because the dog wanted to go out. So let me.
Yes, this is exactly why. Oops. Yes.
Murdering that woman.
This is exactly
If
why.
you kiss
Don't bury
the ring,
lead.
kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right?
As Alec was endorsing Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential election campaign, the comedian also took a dig at Kamala's loss to Trump.
Right? He did that impersonation to me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office.
This guy's
You
impression
lost.
sucks anyway.
Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated.
Alex tried to ignore the comedian and stay
This guy's an
composed
Opie.
when the comedian labeled the death of
This
cinematographer
is some shit
Helena
Opie would
Hutchins
do.
as first-degree murder. However, he lost his cool when the comedian said that Helena must be watching from heaven and would be happy to see Baldwin being confronted for her murder.
She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me. And that's okay.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
No, you realize, by the
Whoa.
way. No, look at me. I want you to look at me.
Sure.
You know, you got a camera on me?
The ring? No, it's the ring.
But you realize my kids live in this building, right? If this camera was here, I'd snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right over. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Alec Baldwin. He just wanted
Alex
to
a
talk to you right
fucking
now.
hero in that video.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a citizen of this. I was born and raised in New York City. I love you, Alec. Alec, look, Alec, you don't want to attack your favorite president, Alec. Look, I love you.
If this camera was here,
All right. So that's Jason Scoop. Now,
Right.
I have done a pretty thorough internet search on Jason Scoop, and I can't find anything. And Scoop is not his real name. And I don't mind doxing the guy. The guy's real name is, and I don't know how to pronounce it, it's SKZUP. And he is a giant piece of shit. All right, now we're gonna go someplace else here. Leo Gunn, Alec belongs in jail. Frankly, I think that's bullshit. I think that he got handed a gun on a movie set. It was an accident. You know, whoever was at fault, it wasn't Alec. What was he supposed to do? Point the gun at himself and shoot it first to just make sure there was no blank? You know, it was blank. So, fuck that. It was an accident, and that's it. But I found myself last Thursday night, for no particular reason, late at night watching another video, and I had no idea, none, zero, about this. And I have trashed Kiki kind of mercilessly, but I want to talk
Gone out of his
Echo.
mother's workspace and
Echo.
waved it around in my face. That was
Yeah, remember it.
yeah.
I lived it with you, okay? After
was
we
horrible.
found out about it. Yeah.
I'm not yelling at you. It's
I know. We lived it with you, okay? We did our best to get you out of it.
yeah, it was terrible. So
He's a damaging individual. He lived with me for 5 months, okay? Unfucking believable. You guys
beat
lived
the
with
shit out of
Oh,
me
really?
at your home.
That
Didn't
guy
know.
lived with her?
fucking didn't even know. I don't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Gross. You're muted. You're muted. I don't know if you mean to be muted, but I had no idea Kiki would live with that guy. I just thought that like they just dated for a little bit.
No, this is her old boyfriend, and they were really serious. Sorry about
This
that.
must have been. I mean, was she out doing burning bridges when she was dating him?
I don't
Fat
know.
Kiki?
I don't know much of the timeline, but let me play some of this a little bit.
And this is the nature of abuse, people. He is
I don't mind.
and I said
Kiki.
this to a
She's
friend of
fine.
mine
She's
who
nice.
called me on the
I
Look,
don't hate her.
I think she's dumb as a rock,
Most
but
girls are.
that's neither here nor there.
So
But
is Gina.
what
Gina's
this
dumb as a rock.
what this guy did to her,
phone
right?
today because she's coming out with a lot of things about him. And I said, I mean, he's so demented. This individual, Jason Scoop, look him up. He would
Echo.
turn on he had a weird obsession with OJ Simpson. And it sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm wholeheartedly not. You sat with me in the DA, remember, when I told this?
Yes.
He would turn on the OJ documentary while he had sex with me. Demented individual. This is why he's not in any comedy clubs. This is why he has to accost people on the street and try and go viral that way. I can't imagine.
I just don't.
So this guy Scoop is even more of a piece of shit than I thought.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a little weird that Gino dated both of these women. But yeah, KB Jason also threw Alex Engelbert down a flight of stairs. Wow. So
I don't understand why he's out on the street again. I mean, when he gets scheduled at a comedy club, you guys, every comic knew this, and they got him unscheduled.
That's why he's not. So
how
this
is
is
he out
what
on the
he's
street now?
This is what he's taken to. He just
Does he
leaves
not
his
think he's
house.
going to get in trouble for this or get arrested for this? He should have been in jail when they arrested him. Why didn't they put him in jail?
He pled guilty to stay out of jail.
the dude took a deal.
Why didn't
So every comedy club won't take him. They all know
Ec-
what he's done to not only me, but to other women. And everybody needs to fucking know. So if this is what he's taken to. He wants to be famous. He wants to be whatever, dressed as Trump. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. And so everybody needs to fucking know that. Fucking Gino was on the People magazine, posted something, and he went to People Tips. He's like, I'm sure everyone has told you this. But if you would like to see the court records of him pleading guilty for a felony for breaking a woman's wrist, I will gladly send them to you. Just so we're all clear. And I'm going to go ahead and show this anyway. And
Are you?
yeah, I am. This is what Jason Scoop. No, I know. I told you not to stop me. I'm going to do it.
I know. I'm
Is that
not
okay with
stopping you.
you? I don't want to trigger you either.
It's all right.
The poor mother is just crying here because I think she feels guilty that she let this go on. She didn't know about it, but she was letting it go on. I guess
Yeah.
if I understand the story correctly, for 4 or 5 months, they lived with Keanu's parents, the two of them, and this was going on while they were together.
Okay.
And
then, like, was he beating her?
Yeah, apparently he was smacking around, and he was violent the whole time. But
That's why she got
Keanu
fat.
wasn't telling anybody. And for
Right.
all you assholes that say, "Oh, she should have left," knowing a few women in this situation, it's really hard to do, and especially because apparently, you get with somebody, you probably like them. There's probably something about them, and then this guy is like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to counseling. Oh, it'll never happen again. Oh," and it did. So I'm going to play a little more.
It needs to be said. I'm tired
No,
of being.
no. I'm so glad you are finally speaking about this because you need to. You need to fucking get him. Honestly, he did not get his due. He did not, because he's back out there in his insane personality doing shit.
Yeah, he's a monster.
this guy,
a complete
he's a
and
piece of
utter fucking monster. Here is his.
Yeah, I'm going to speed it up a little.
And well, here you go. I'll show you this. Here you go.
Plus, what he did is so fucking gay and hacky.
This is why I don't talk about this
It was
too
like-
No,
often.
you won't talk about it, and I'm glad you are.
Like,
But I'm allowed
the
to
Alec-
fucking
pause it for a
talk about
second.
this if I want to.
Like the Alec Baldwin thing. First of all, the Trump impression. There's a couple people who can do it, and that's it. Everybody else, just stop. I know we just got Trump back in office, but if you weren't doing it 4 years ago, don't start doing it now. Second of all, Alec Baldwin's case has been done for a year almost. So what you're doing, double hack sketch.
KB, you put up with a lot of bullshit when the dick is good. LOL. KB.
Yeah.
KB killing it as usual.
Shit, dude. Jeez. Size queen.
And if it helps somebody else, and if it helps
Size queen
Alec
bee.
Baldwin,
We forgive Alec Baldwin for doing a shitty Trump impersonation.
Alec Baldwin's Trump
Doesn't have to
impersonation
be
is better
bad,
than
it just has
fucking
to be
Jason.
good.
Okay?
We were mad.
Alec must be just jealous of or no, Jason must just be jealous of Alec.
Muted.
What did the Irish say? Something about it not being the size, but the effectiveness.
The motion of the ocean. But you
This
can't
man,
get to,
this man,
you
and
can't
he's
get to France
going
in a
viral right
tugboat.
now. He broke my fucking wrist. He kicked me until my wrist was broken. The state of New York, it was the state of New York against Jason Scoop. He pled guilty to a second
I agree.
violent felony because
She's
of
a
all
cutie
of the fucking
patootie.
evidence.
I'd fuck her. I'd fuck
Yeah,
her. You know,
who
for the
wouldn't?
goof.
But
you know what the next
she-
AI voice for Super Tip needs to be? By the way, you should buy supertips.gg.
All right, go
It's
ahead.
only $100. It's only $100 a month.
All right, what's the next?
It should be Andrew Dice Clay. Imagine Andrew Dice Clay AI voice. That would be good. Oh, gosh.
I what do you call it? Hold on, you got me all.
Okay? All of the fucking evidence and the insanity of it. And he's back out on the fucking street accosting people. He shouldn't be around women. He certainly shouldn't be around children. And he probably shouldn't be around Alec Baldwin either. Here we go. Let's go ahead. Here is his case information. And then what you're going to see really will shock you. And that's fine. Here you go. There you go. Case
It's really
information.
not that shocking.
Jason. There you go. Jason. Jason SZKUP. See this right here? Here's all of his court appearances. Here's all of the court reporters. Here's the arraignment type, and they all go way the fuck down. Finally, and if you can't see that right there,
Finally,
he
it's happened to me.
Bing, bing, bing.
All right.
You gotta have
So
both.
we get the point. I'm going to let the video is going to run in the background a little bit,
Yeah.
but we don't need to listen to her talk.
Okay.
Because I want you to see. She puts up a picture of where she was beaten. Leo Gunn, Kiki and her mom are Eskimo sisters. They both fucked some guy called Girthy Wayne. No lie. We know
Who'd you
about
rather
that.
fuck, Girthy Wayne or Gravy Legs?
But yeah, look, whatever she's done, right? She doesn't deserve to get the shit beaten out of her.
No,
I don't
ever.
care.
Never put your hands on anybody, let alone a woman.
You know, and so there's like several things that blew me away about this. I had heard that she had a violent boyfriend, but I had no idea that this was the guy, or that this much had happened, and that he'd broken her wrist and all that. But the thing about Kiki that blows me away is, all right, so this is on the night, she tells the story on the night that Jason Scoop thing came out, and it was all over the news, right? You couldn't turn on anything without hearing of Alec Baldwin saying, "I'm going to break your fucking neck." And this guy's great. But she waited. She did a stream, and she waited an hour and 35 minutes to get into this. It's like, talk about burying the lead, you know?
Well, we came to talk about this, and we didn't get into it until 45 minutes in.
Right, but we have a reason to do it. And
World class banter.
No, I didn't have to do this because it's not funny and it's probably not entertaining. And but I had shit on Kiki so much, I really felt like I needed to do that. And
it's very nice of you.
You know, but also too, the more interesting part to me was, so I heard this and I wanted to find out about it, right? So I did an internet search on this guy, and you can't find anything. You can't find. So according to KB, he tossed Alex down the stairs. According to Kiki, he beat the shit out of her. She put up him pleading guilty to charges, the whole bit. I can't find any of that on the web anywhere. And I even sent the case number and his information to a journalist friend. They couldn't find anything. And I've only experienced this once before, when I've been looking at some of these like big time Christian faith healers that have been caught and in scandals. And I go and I look, and I can't find any of the original stuff on them. It's like, this guy had to have paid somebody to wipe the internet, like one of those reputation things that drive all this information down.
Yeah, it's very easy.
And,
it's not even that expensive.
You know, and it's like, somebody could have learned that with Franklin Scheckler, but didn't.
I could, well, he didn't have the money to do it. I'm sure he looked into it. I can do that once all the bald pictures of me come out, you know. I'll have to either shave my head or hire reputation defender to defend my bald head.
Or else just put up pictures of when you were young and good looking.
Yes. The flat earth, as I call it.
That's the way to do it. But I'm no fan of Kiki's, but I don't know. I really felt bad, and I'm not going to go into it. I might want to torment her, but she's talking about this, and you can just say it's like it was a terrible time. She's crying, and like, here's this guy being celebrated, and he's being celebrated for accosting somebody in front of their house with their wife and their kids, and we're supposed to be mad at Alec Baldwin for wanting to kick his ass. Now, I'm no fan of Alec Baldwin, but
Why not?
fuck this guy. I don't like Alec's politics. I don't like Alex being, I got a lot of things I don't like about him, but I don't care about, but this was just absolute bullshit. And then I couldn't believe the web was so clean of all this stuff. Like, how does this go away? Right? Like, how did all that stuff go away? And, what if you're some like young comedian chick in New York and you see this video and you're like, oh, that Jason guy's kind of cute, right? Googles him. You never know any of this stuff. I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day you'll get a little letter writing campaign from women of abuse shelters, AIDS, whatever. It's wherever it's called.
Cool. All right, let's minimize the young lady getting the shit beat out of her because you need to make a joke about me.
What?
Schmuel says, fuck that guy about Alex because he disagrees with
No.
him politically. Mature Schmuel.
Hold on.
No,
I
you
was trying
fucking idiot. Sorry.
Wait, what? Schmuel says, F that guy, Alec Baldwin, because he disagrees with him politically. Oh, no. I don't, no. No, Alec Baldwin is probably is the character he plays in 30 Rock, which is like, general piece of shit. And, it takes a special piece of shit to call your underage daughter a piggy girl or whatever, little piggy girl.
Right.
Little piggy. And, she shot somebody and injured
This
another
is not
person,
so much a defense of Alec Baldwin as it is a
No.
pointing out of what a piece of garbage this other guy is. And not knowing Alec Baldwin, if this guy came up to me and did that
By
shit.
the way, I wasn't taking a shot at you. I was taking a shot at I was just saying that he should have like there should be, beaten, battered women's shelter organizations that do letter writing campaigns against them.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm gonna start.
Notify
I'm
those
gonna start
places.
that.
Not that you're gonna start
Never
mind.
Johnny Payton, aren't you a little old to be saying "fuck you" to the Democrats?
Yeah, aren't you a little old to say fuck
Whatever
the
there,
Democrats?
Johnny.
Maybe
Yeah,
makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Maybe he's calling you a Democrat. Aren't you a Democrat?
No.
You're not a shit.
This is my buddy. This is my buddy Panhandler. Schmuel is a pinko commie. He and Alex should be pals. Yeah, I'm no pinko commie, but I call him as I see him. Given the choice, but Alex's political views shouldn't allow him to be fucking hit up in the front of his house. So there you go. That's Schmuel's opinion.
It's just hacky, and it's like premeditated. Like, when did you even plan that and do it? Did you know that you've been following him?
And he had a cameraman.
Yeah, the camera he had it all set up. It's a little weird.
Yeah. The part that we don't have is
TM Zumach. I get it, but
Hilaria chasing him around the corner, but
that's another
his cameraman didn't catch it. Which that part I would have loved to have seen.
I mean, Blind Mike does the Alec Baldwin stuff to a T. He fucking he analyzes him perfectly. He does a great impression, but like he's like fucking, when I listen to Alec Baldwin talk for more than 3 minutes, he's fucking delusional. Let's just be real about it. He doesn't deserve this, but he's fucking delusional.
Well, to me, he's like De Niro, right? On screen, he's fantastic. Left to his own devices, he's an idiot, right?
Hey. I've done this impression 3 times this week already.
I got something to say here.
Hey, I am the Frankenstein monster. I'm electric and scary. Ooh.
Yeah, some people should only be allowed to speak when
Caliendo
shit is
impression.
written for them. So, Anyway, I don't apologize to Kiki for anything I said, but
No, it's all
this
fun.
guy is a piece of shit, and I wanted to point out that he's a piece of shit. And I wish I could get more info on him to show just what a piece of shit he is. But maybe we'll do a Jason Scoop show one day.
What's going to be the name of the Schmuel Buckman fan club, or the Buckmanites, or the Buckmans, or the Schmueligans?
The Schmuelies.
Ooh, Schmueligans. Schmuelies.
The Schmueligans.
Like Schmueligans.
Schmueligans.
Well,
Schmuelies.
Schmueligans. Well,
Yeah.
Schmueligans, you get out there. Schmueligans and Den words, because my people are
I'm
called
going to get
Den words.
another SH named guy pissed off at me, thinking I'm stealing his.
The Young Bucks.
It's
Okay,
he.
Affy, relax. Schmueligans.
Young-
Schmuelies.
Young
Schmuelies.
Bucks. Hey, Affy, I could grow to like you. Yeah, I think the Schmuelies is the thing too,
Schmuelies.
right? Yeah.
Ugh.
So
Just make it more fucking Jewish.
we've got
Jew
the
it up.
Schmuelies. Shut up for a minute, Dave. We got the Schmuelies, and then if you're like the sorcerer, you've been Buckmaned. When I corner you and won't shut up. Isaac Walmart, too close to Schmuely or Shuli. I can't even say it. Yes, that's the point. That was what I said when the other SH name was going to get pissed off thinking I was stealing from him. And KB, hey, at Mental X, you should start the Institute for Franklin Sheckler Studies. Interesting. It's pretty interesting to see the stuff coming out on the guy. But, you know, I have been disappointed in the dabbleverse so many times where we're going to have receipts, we're going to do all these things, and then nothing ever happens. So, you know, I wonder, I saw the Dan from Nice Podcasts preparing to take down Sheckler, but, you know, we'll have to see if that's going to happen. And who has that much time? Sheckler's a weirdo. Yeah. Which leads me to my next and our like kind of final topic here for the evening. I have been getting bored with the dabbleverse shit lately. Bored with the Ray stories, bored with the Sheckler stories, bored with KB losing his mind on air and breaking down. But I think the thing that threw me over the edge was Dabble House. Have you heard about this thing, Dave?
Yes, indeed.
Right. And you can pay $250 to be an executive producer. What the fuck? Right? Is this like, do you know what Chain Stokes breathing is? When you die, when somebody's getting ready to die, they go into a thing called Chain Stokes breathing. You can look it up, CHEYNE. And that's when they gasp like,
Oh.
and then it's like what you do just before you die. And man, I thought Dabble House was the death knell of this thing. This was like, you sounded to me like this whole Dabbleverse thing is dying. And and to schedule it just before Hackamania, $30 for the stream. Most of the stuff I could live with, but then when I heard about the $250 executive producer thing, and then
So what does that get
you
you?
can make videos for them to sell or something.
You can make videos for them to sell?
Yeah, so if you want to make animations or little mini movies or whatever, I think you have to pay them, but then they'll play them on the Dabble House stream.
Oh, so you make them, you pay it, so it's advertising. You get to advertise on their shit. Okay. Look,
Right.
the executive producer thing isn't new. They're not the first person to do it. They certainly won't be the last. What does the $250 get you? Does it get you like some time with them, like to sit on a stream and or like not even a stream, like a Zoom call and like hang out or a StreamYard call and just hang out?
I have to be honest. I heard $250 executive producer, and I kind of bailed out because whatever you were going to do wasn't going to make it worth it.
Dabble House.
I tried to Google it. Does anybody know what? Does anybody know what the 250 executive producer slot gets you? And this is kind of interesting because nobody knows. And if I had asked this question a year ago, everybody would have been in on what was going on Schmuel, even if they hated him. I just think now people just don't care. Oh, there you go. Our buddy Deb. Deb, we haven't heard from you in a while. Deb, the Comedy Stew podcast. It gets your name mentioned multiple times.
Ooh, recognition. Fucking recognition.
Yeah, so if you want your name mentioned multiple times for nobody to hear it, you could pay $250.
I've been slowly, decreasing my Schmuel intake only because I've seen they're starting to do episodes they've already done before instead of even doing episodes that they haven't done, which is a little lazy. However, I love me some Stutcho talk, but it's not, it's not as fun without Stuttering John making new episodes. That's for one. Second of all, Schmuel, fuck, god damn it. Again, I lost my train of thought. So
too much weed, Dave. Too much weed. All right, I'm gonna do. KB, wouldn't it be fun to get these podcasters together in a house and have it filmed 24/7 like Big Brother or Fish Tank? Yes, if Kevin Brennan and Melton and Schmuel are there. I don't think it would be fun if it was all the guys that all got along, right? And I am going to Hackamania, and I enjoy this. Deb, I can only watch them if they have Kumia on, and even then, I usually can't sit through the entire thing.
Yeah. The executive producer thing is not anything new. Again, they won't be the first or last. I haven't really watched. I've been kind of decreasing my intake of Schmuel lately, just because it just hasn't been interesting. Again, it's the same shit over and over again now. I did, however, watch Kumia on Rumble with them doing one too many, and that shit was fucking funny, dude.
Right.
that was a good time.
But that didn't have super chats, right? That didn't have super chats during.
They did. They read them. They just read them. Like anytime they got a super chat, Frog would read it.
But
they couldn't bring it on the screen.
I watched it. I thought it was very funny. It was really. It was a lot of fun. But it wasn't as super chat heavy or sidetracked. Like they actually did get through the movie.
Like I could have done with we didn't need Zen or Mike Morris. It would have been fine. Honestly, we didn't even need Schmuel either. I would have just watched Anthony watch it.
Yeah.
But Schmuel and Anthony would have been fine because Schmuel is,
I've seen all four of them perform stand-up.
Yeah.
And I will say that, I love Kumia. Kumia is new at it. If you watch Kumia and then watched him a year later, he's really come into his own with the stand-up. He's really good. Zen is a beast at stand-up. Zenhauser was very funny.
Zen's a pro.
Mike Morse, I watched, so this is less than a year ago. Hack. And he's doing fucking airline food and the stewardess bit where she goes, these people over here with her little fingers and these people over there. I was like, what the fuck did I get back into? And look, I've heard that he's funny. I heard he's a great writer, but it was painful, man, because I expected a lot more. And Schmuel's just okay. He's not a stand-up.
You gotta put effort into it. He probably doesn't put any effort into it. I've seen him do stand-up. It's fine. I saw him do that at Skankfest. It's He's a feature act. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but it's like, there wasn't a lot of work. It wasn't anything new, and I also like how many I get high jokes can I listen to?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
The thing with Schmuel is that stuff with his father, the shit that his father said, and growing up with the Israeli dad. Excuse me.
I know.
That shit is fucking hilarious if he could get it on stage as an act. You know?
He does do some shit like that on stage. I've heard him do Israeli. His Skankfest set was all Jew jokes.
Oh, really?
It was all Jew stuff.
Yeah. I'm talking more about it.
And getting high.
And I'm just like, I was like, but, I love the stuff because his father would say things like, I can see a truck coming down the street to bring your trophy now,
So what do you think about this? So apparently Schmuel was paying Eso even after he like left or quit, but I don't know if he necessarily knew then when he was still paying him, but I guess Bob Levy revealed that the other day.
Look, this is the story. If you did work for somebody, you deserve to get paid. That's the answer to the question, right? If you work for me, I'm just telling you how it works with me. If you work for me and you work for me for a week or two and you quit and I haven't paid you yet for that week or two, I am going to pay you for that week or two. It's what the law is supposed to be. It's the way it is with employment law, but it's also what you're supposed to do. Nobody should have to work for free.
If that's what happened, then I understand. I'm not under the impression that's what happened. I'm under the impression, I don't know, Bob Levy made it seem like he was getting paid even after he left. Like, getting paid. Not like he got paid once after he left.
Right. I understood that he had done work for them and he left. But look,
that makes sense.
I'm a believer that Schmuel didn't know about all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think either.
Right after it happened. Look, did he know about it before Eso pled guilty? I don't think so. He's told me he didn't. I believe him, but that's not what we're talking about here. It's not like he kept them on the payroll for 12 months after this was all done.
No. I know. Okay, but did he know about the court case before DabbleCon, and was DabbleCon planned around his court case? This is what I want to know, which I don't know if I ever will know.
I think that's just a stupid question. Because one has nothing to do with the other. If 2 days before DabbleCon, the ESO news came out, it would not have changed a thing. Everybody still would have gone. It might have even increased interest.
I sort of disagree. I'm not saying all that many people will pull out and that it's going to be a disaster. I'm just saying that you want it you don't want that dropping a week before one of your only event you do every year, the DabbleCon event. I mean, you don't want that to be the narrative going into that event.
No, I mean, look, I get it, but it is what it is. But you couldn't have. They wouldn't have known when he was going to be. When he was going to plead guilty. It's not like this stuff. So they would have had to know months before, is essentially what you're saying.
What I'm
saying, they didn't just throw DabbleCon together.
But if there's a high likelihood of him pleading guilty, because he is in jail already.
No, right? He was not in jail.
Okay, he was not in jail. So he was out of jail?
Yeah, he was out of jail.
So he was out of jail on parole. I mean, on bail.
He was on bail or he was on his own recognizance. I don't know which.
Okay. So they had a likelihood, maybe they thought there was a high likelihood that he was going to plead guilty, or like just the fact that the case was coming up regardless. Whether he pleads
Right,
guilty or
but
not
I don't
guilty,
understand.
the
Listen,
court
but I don't
dates,
understand. But
you
Dave,
don't want that.
what does that have to do?
I'm
with
telling you
everybody
what it
else?
has to do.
I mean, people,
you don't want
look,
that a week before your event, stupid. What else?
I understand that, but I don't think it would have been the ESO getting busted for fucking the CP shit doesn't seem to be the big deal. Nobody seems to care about that. What they want to do is they want to own Schmuel for it. And they want to own other people. And that's bullshit. Let's fucking put the fault where the fault is. The fault is with the ESO. It's what ESO did.
Who are you talking about right now? You're talking about the dabbleverse. You think they're going to put it behind them? No, it's a chain of reactions. So my next question is, did they know about the court case? Was there a high likelihood that he was going to plead guilty? Did they know any of that? That's what I want to know. Why? Because I think it's a little scummy to work your event around a fucking court case of a former employee that might be pleading guilty to fucking child porn cases.
But how does that?
So
but how would you do? But how would you do it? How would you do it?
You know how many months before do you know the court case? When was
that's the question? How many months before would you know the court case?
Remember, they for the longest time they wouldn't even say the dates because they didn't know exactly when they were going to have the dates. Remember, we haven't announced it. We know it's going to be in this time generally, but we don't know exactly when. We don't know if it's going to be because they want to make sure. Let's do it the weekend. Let's make sure it's before the case happens.
I don't know, man. It sounds too much conspiracy. That's just too much conspiracy theory. It has more to do with the location. It has more to do with the location, right? So that would have had to mean that Carl was involved in it. Schmuel was involved in it. Vinny Paulino was involved in it. The club owner was involved in it.
Well, not then. They don't
and
need
it
to
didn't
know
get
why.
out. How could all those people? No, because if it would have been done, we would have known about it beforehand.
We knew about the court case beforehand. They knew about it. People knew about it. It wasn't on all over Dabblers Anonymous.
Right, but who knew about it?
Just people who were looking. The Carlos Dangers and the Vince.
Carlos
VTLs.
Dangers said he didn't know about it.
Okay, VTL.
Right. Well, that's look. There's been accusations that
maybe
after
he withheld information even.
Right. It's possible.
To help
I don't think he would have done it to help DabbleCon. I think he would have done it because he was getting information from ESO. And then once ESO pled guilty, he wasn't getting no information from him anymore. It's the more likely scenario. Right? But the deal is what ESO did is disgusting, right?
Of course.
And can we hold him accountable and the other fucking predators accountable and not try to own other podcasters?
No, I don't agree with that. No, this is part of the podcasting shit. No, okay, guys. You know what? Schmuel's innocent. Let's not make fun. Let's not make any more jokes. And ESO's a bad guy. Okay, let's end the podcast now. Are you ready? No,
this is what we
do. This is what we do.
Oh, okay.
This is what I do.
All right. I mean, this is what
you got to do.
Right. You do what you do, and I do what I do. That's why we work so well together. All right, let's go into some of these chats. But I just disgusted at this the Vince thing. Remember I don't know if you saw the Rocco tapes. We were editing the Rocco tapes. How much did Gino know? That's the most important question there is. But this is just, I don't know. It felt just like typical KB shit trying to own.
It's scummy.
Trying to own everybody. You know?
We know. We play in the dirt here, Schmuel. That's what you got to understand.
I am laughing about Kevin saying he's going to take the tickets as a write-off. And if the IRS has a problem, let him audit them.
I didn't even hear that today. That's great.
And I'm like, Kevin's never been through an audit because the deal is an audit itself, even if you win, costs thousands of dollars. Oh. Just thousands. And it goes on forever. And
audit.
Mint Diggity, LOL, it's the dabbleverse, Schmuel. Mint Diggity, right. I have been owned and spanked, and you are correct.
It's
All
good
right.
times. Everybody's got to get
wait,
yelled at
actually,
me
what's-
at one point or another.
Yeah, wait. There's something on here that. Oh, wait. Did Shuli's wife take the kids and leave? I have no fucking idea, and I don't care.
It is true. But
You know-
look, but
No.
you
But
say that-
wait. This. Go ahead. But then no. This is like with the stories of KB getting divorced,
right?
And his wife's
Right.
not around. I don't care.
But we
I don't pay
talked
attention
about
to
it 2
and I don't
weeks
care.
ago. We talked about it last week.
What did we talk about? Me
KB's
saying I don't
wife
care?
and the divorce.
Right, I don't
Possible divorce.
care.
Then I brought up maybe that's why he's wearing the thing. So he's in an apartment that doesn't have heating and cooling, which makes me think that, or it doesn't have the heater on, which makes me think that his wife and kid isn't there. But then we remember, no, he had 2 places. All right, and then he's always had 2 places.
Right.
So I'm just saying, we've been talking about this shit. This
Yeah.
is what we do. Did Shuli's... Okay, hold on. Take the kids and leave? Hold on. I want to know where that came from. Where did that come from? Did Shuli's wife take the kids and leave? Where did that come from? I want to know more, Menthol X. Please type more. Every piece of chismoso that you know, you type it in chat. I don't care if it's fake, real. I want to hear it all. I want all the rumors to start right here. All rumors begin here.
I love how KB haters say Kevin is irrational. There are only 5 people creating content. KB, Ray, Chad, John, and Aaron. If they all acted normally, this all stops. Tony, a truer thing has never been said, but if KB weren't acting irrationally, would we be interested?
And all the people you mentioned, it's hard to say creating content. It's even harder to say that Aaron might be the best content creator in that group.
It just, and it also depends upon what you mean by content, right?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Like, Aaron has blown me away with how fucking stupid he is and how much is like he just lies and
Cheese
lies
man, right.
and he
Go on,
does
go
it.
on.
He does it. Cheese
No,
man.
we want to be the chismosos. We want to be the chismoso. We want the cheese man chat. Give me the cheese man.
The Aussie guy, TSN, has gone through SJ's divorce papers with a fine-tooth comb. They made the bed.
Yeah.
Aussie
So-
guy, I would argue, John drew first blood in that fight. I guess
That is 100% true. I will say this. Shuli made multiple attempts in Studio's face and then on the internet to stay away from this guy. And then once the trigger flipped, that's it.
Right.
Once
We all know the story of Shuli.
That is true.
Carl could not get Shuli to talk about this. He didn't want to do it, and then
Yeah.
when Shuli finally really went after him, I mean, Shuli.
Unless
John tried to get Shuli's job taken away from him.
Yeah.
John has an
Go
irrational
forward.
hate towards Shuli, right?
Yeah. Well, he just, I mean, it's a lot of things too, but irrational, yes. But I think he hated a lot of those people that came after him anyway, that worked on that crew. Could have been anybody. Could have been Mamet. Could have been anybody.
No, I know, but he was the one guy he was able to get was Shuli, and I am sure that him
Because he was the shortest guy.
Right, him saying that Shuli
Literally.
was his mole, I'm sure did not help him with Stern.
Sure, but no, it didn't. But also, Shuli Shuli was like the shortest guy out of all those. So like John was the shortest, so he goes after the next shortest.
Right, he's
like-
going to go after the guy he thinks he
I'm
can take.
gonna exactly.
right.
He's like, no, I'm smarter than Shuli, but if it comes to fisticuffs, I probably can take him.
Mint Diggity, yeah, but Chad always been repeating 3. And then Mint Diggity, I guess AC hurt bad. And he said he would fulfill his redemption arc. Genius thing to say.
I think you're talking about Chad.
I guess I'm a Chad. So
Chad, I've been watching Chad's show lately, It's not something I ever do or ever like to do. Last time I
You're the one, huh?
Last time I sat down and watched. Well, you know what happened was I signed up for locals on Rumble. I made my own locals community. Go follow my Rumble channel. I need 100 subscribers. And what happens is I found TM Zumach on there. It's impossible to find Chad. You have to find him by typing in TM Zumach. It's stupid. So I see when he goes live now. But let me tell you something. His show was better 4 years ago. Last time I watched the show was like 4 years ago. And it was better then because he was like actually talking about the comedy scene and little ins and outs of whatever. And it was fine. But now he's literally turned into Aaron. He literally talks about money and super chats. He does the super chats, but then he talks about super chats. And then he talks about, and then he has a whole I don't know how to explain it. He builds up to a lot of nothing is kind of what I'm trying to get at here. There's a lot of, you know what it reminds me of? On Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings before football starts, if you listen to AM radio, sometimes FM radio, you'll get those sports bet guys and they're talking about the odds. They never give you the odds of the game. You think they're going to give you the odds of one or two little hints here and there. They talk about the game and it's so weird how they say a lot of shit without saying anything. And then what they bank on is that you're going to call and they give half the people one bet and the other half another bet is usually what they do, roughly. You know that? That trick? So it's like you get your free pick. So the free pick is always split half and half. So just in case the game loses, doesn't matter. Either way, they have their ass covered. The half that win might call back the next week and put some money on it. You know what I mean?
Now, how does this relate to Chad? I'm confused.
So I'm doing the same thing Chad does, which is there's a lot of filler in there that there's no actual information, and then he just kind of floats until the next super chat. He's kind of in between super chats at all times. It's very odd, different than with how KB does it. We know KB shows super chat centric, and it's part of the show and all that. But Chad will say 5 words and then I don't know, play a sound clip, and then talk about super chats, and then say a super chat, and then say 5 more words, play a sound drop, talk about super chats, and then do a super chat.
Okay. Wow. I just to go into the chat a little bit. Mint Diggity talking about Chad. No, I didn't really get to meet him. We were in the same room, but he was doing the pod. He was performing LOL. Well, he was standing in the corner hoping Kevin would call him on. My thing with Chad, I met him in Atlantic City. He doesn't like me. I get it. I was shitting on him. And we talked.
He really razzed you, too.
We talked. And it's and he talked to Melton. He was very nice to everybody. Melton offered him the Hackverse stuff. It was like a weekend where people were smoothing shit over, and Chad didn't say anything to anybody. He talked to people, but he wasn't challenging. He didn't come back at anybody. He was very nice to everyone. And then he went on the air and he's like, this guy's a piece of shit. This guy lied to me. This guy did this to me. And I can tell you that he described a conversation that he and I had, and it was not the conversation that he and I had. It's all like an act.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. KB agrees. It's all fake and gay. All right. Now,
well, Chad really gave it to you. He really, I don't like you. What did he say? He said, I don't like you. You talk a lot of shit online.
You're really rude to me.
Oh, you're really rude to me. Oh no.
And we laughed and we shook hands and it was like, but it was all fine. Me, it wasn't a big deal, but it was like with Melton and the other guys, he was really like, I don't know. You would have think they'd walked away from there like buddies, you know? And Melton really did offer them the opportunity to come to Hackamania, and I don't know, Chad blew it. So, you know,
I think
he
Chad
had to
should
shit
go
on
to-
it.
Chad is considering going up against KB every day, or at least the days that he goes live.
I've seen Chad, I'm sorry, KB lately seems to be alone all the time. Is Chad still coming on or no?
He comes on, but he does his own show now. Like his show kind of leads into MLC, sort of, right? I don't know. I haven't subscribed to Chad, and I'm not subscribed to Chad. I haven't
Leo Gunn.
watched him in 4 years.
It's all the work. I'm tired of works. Yeah, that's, I think, what I was trying to say earlier. I'm growing tired of it too. And to just annoy my friend Dave, go back to the Schmuel thing. This all blaming Schmuel for ESO stuff all feels like a work to me too. And I don't know. It's pretty, I don't know. What ESO did, I just don't want that to be developed into a work. But neither here nor there. Now, okay. This is the Affy. Bob Levy keeps it real. He'll throw a drink at you. Does anybody even know who Bob Levy is anymore?
No, use your words. Use your words. Don't attack people. Call him a fucking bitch, a F word, F slur, a KIKE. Tell him you'll RAPE their mother or whatever. Try to be hurtful. I don't know, but don't punch people unless you guys have a mutual combat relationship and you want to both throw down. I'm always down to throw down, but like in a setting where, you know, if I fall and if I get knocked out, I want to break my head or my skull. But I will fight you. Just, you know, on the grass. I'll fight you on the grass.
Yeah.
Or on the carpet.
Anyway, I swear I don't even know when Bob Levy's on anymore. And when I try to watch him, I'm like, it's so boring.
He was going up against KB for a little while. Then he went before KB, then after, and he's just all over the place.
What's Bob's like 63, 64 years old. And he's talking about, I'm going to write a movie and I'm going to do this. And we're starting a new chapter.
If he could do it, he should. He should see how hard it is to fucking write a book. I mean, write a fucking movie script. Do it.
He can't. That's why he hasn't done it. But it's just, it's all like, when you hit your 60s, it's time to stop dreaming. You know?
That's what dude, imagine he goes live and he just starts, he goes live and it's just him and Word document and he's just like typing away. And it's just, I'm writing a script.
Hey, Gina, how do you spell intricate? I can't read this thing. There's all these little red squiggles underneath the letters.
Red and green squiggles.
Aussie guy. Gino Bisconti gets to the point better than Bob Levy. I think the difference is, I think Gino has a point that he never gets to, and with Bob, there is no point.
Dude, Gino Bisconti, the only person who Let me start this again. Nobody interrupts Gino Bisconti more than Gino Bisconti. Let me just tell you that. Okay? Same thing with me. I interrupt myself and start a whole new... It's like Kurt Metzger. The sentence starts, and before the sentence ends, it's had 3 tangents attached to it.
You've heard it here, folks. Dave Sauer thinks he's a Kurt Metzger.
No, I just have I for sure have ADHD. It's like some form of like ADD.
All right, Mental Lex. I'd like to meet Carl's mom wife. Carl's mom wife is lovely. Met her a bunch of times. She's a real sweetheart.
Pull up the picture.
Oh, I don't have the picture. Oh, your picture? I don't have that one. Yeah, do not let Dave take. Do not. If you want a flattering picture, Dave Sarah is not the person to take it.
I have it. First of all, I took that picture from the first row, just full on zoom. She is a great singer. I never zoomed in till very recently, and it's just, you know, sometimes, I don't know. So what else?
Tony's
you got?
Haircuts was supposedly filming 3 specials at that theater place. Can't spell it, a year ago. Are you talking about? We're talking about Bob and the Emmaus Theater. Is that the one you guys are talking about?
Right, the Emmaus. Right.
Okay. Yes. And oof, I feel bad. It's such a bad picture, and she doesn't look anything like.
She doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve this. This is mean. This is rude.
Yeah.
I like Carl. I like Carl's wife. It's just a bad picture. And this is why you don't bring your wife into the dabbleverse, Schmuel. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking.
My wife was described as a gargoyle, and right.
She's a nice lady.
So the deal is, I'm getting all these compliments about my wife, telling me she's attractive, she's sweet. KB described her as a gem.
Yeah, of course.
all these things, right? So they put up this group picture. Somebody had a group picture that my wife was in, and this one guy's like, "Who's the gargoyle on the lower right?"
Hey.
And my wife is like, "Why would you tell me somebody said that?"
You know, dude?
Hey,
Carl-
man, breastfeeding, nothing wrong with that.
First of all, Carl does kind of seem like the type of dude that would pee his pants at your sleepover, like growing up. But when you said that, the breastfeeding thing, now that I picture it, I'm reminded of that one scene from Game of Thrones when they're in the sky, the veil, or whatever, I forget what it's called, and the kids like breastfeeding on the aunt's, on the mother's nipples. It's John Stark's aunt or whatever, or Rob Stark's aunt. And that little pissy little kid just reminds me of like, yeah, I think Carl was kind of like this when he was a kid.
Mommy,
Okay.
Mommy, can we
Carl.
watch 600 Pound Life together tonight?
I like Carl. I think he's a fine broadcaster.
I like Carl as well, and
puts on a great
I like
show.
Jenny. Jenny's really sweet.
She's a sweetheart. I'm sure of it.
And
I'm sure.
I
of
don't
it.
make judgments. All right,
No.
Dave. That's about all I have, unless you have something else you
That's
wanted
it,
to
buddy.
talk about.
Another great episode.
Did you see before?
Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick
Yeah.
before. Did you happen to see the Stuttering John interview with Richard Roper?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I street sniped it.
Do we know how much money he made? Like, was he making money or no?
120 something. No, not even 120 something. $63. Give me 10 seconds. I'll find it right now. Give me 1 sec.
And then my other part, I was just laughing because John can, he's a film school graduate and all that. He's talking to Richard Roper, and I swear to God, he sounded like the kid over the summer who took freshman year film. Because every film he knew was everyone you discuss in class, like nothing unique, nothing special.
It's not just that too. It's like everything he's saying is so contrived and like it sounded like AI. It's like, for example, I did this review on this Montebello City Council member that has this thing called Rick's Horror Show. It's the worst show I've ever seen in my life. This guy's a city council member in Montebello. And he does this thing called Rick's Horror Reviews, but he just reads reviews of movies. He doesn't watch the movie and review it. He just reads a review. Come on, people. Come on.
I always felt like John read the headline of the review and then that's his answer.
That is
Mint Diggity.
All right, so he made
another terrible
135.
show. You guys are all over the place. Mint Diggity, you tried doing a show with Dave Sauer.
We are all over the place. I am all over the place. This is how I am.
Affy, we got a lot of film students in the dabbleverse. Film students, legal scholars, education experts, probably a few scuba divers even.
Scuba divers.
Scuba divers.
He made $135 before taxes and fees.
Wow. So
Not bad. Not a bad day
not
for
much.
an hour.
Hey, look, his going. Hey, I gotta say, I mean, I hate to admit it, but his going away really has taken the air out of the Schmuel network, right? I mean,
I think a lot of things have, but yeah, but they still seem to be growing and doing just fine. They're on pace to
Really?
destroy. They're on pace to destroy MLC this year.
all right, cool. Next time we'll look up Playboard or whatever the hell it's called,
I'm looking at it right now.
and see what the
me-
numbers are.
Let's see here. They have super chat. I mean, some of the shows are hard to tell. I don't know which ones. Like sometimes they made $35, but it's probably a Trainables episode. Uncle Rico stuff still seems to be doing pretty good. 394, 241. Let me see. Let's see, monthly rev.
Oh, you look that up.
I'll
Let me
here,
do this
I'll share the
chat.
screen. I'll share the
Tony's
screen.
haircuts. Can you
I'll share the
imagine the hate a Liam and Steve movie review show would get? I would pay for that. I would pay for a Liam and Stevie movie review show with a Bobo commentary. They're just fantastic.
The thing is, Stevie doesn't have Stevie wants to be like a clean kind of a good boy. He doesn't like the druggy kind of thing aspect anymore, and like the bad boy. He wants to be kind of like a silly kind of a fun, lovable guy, but he just looks like a Bond villain. And it's so hard to take anything he says with sincerity.
You
So
know,
he's talking movies. It's just difficult to. It's difficult.
as I said to a
track.
good friend of mine in the dabbleverse, once you get labeled as a certain type of drug user,
Right. That's
and
what
that
you told
becomes
me.
your persona, it's very hard to get away from that.
That's right. That's what you told me. That's what you told me. January 25th, buddy.
Congrats.
So they made $7,545 in the month of February. And let's see what KB made. Oh, excuse me. I stand corrected. We're number one. We are number
Is he
one.
really?
$10,113. $3,000 more almost. We're number
Wow.
one.
And they do
dude.
about the same number of shows, right?
I mean, generally, KB does 5 and then maybe 1 or 2 on the weekends, sometimes 3 on the weekends. I'd say KB averages, on average, 5 to 5.5 episodes a week. Okay? So on average, he's getting you 5 to 5.5 episodes. Schmuel, I think, might be a couple less. But yeah, wow. Wow. Let's see what Chad made.
Yeah. And to the people, this is a constant argument is that KB makes it alone and Schmuel has to split it.
Exactly.
I get all that,
Plus-
and maybe one day I'll get to finish a sentence without getting interrupted. But I get all that. But the
It's
deal
just
is a business is a business is a business. So
It's like background commentary.
yeah, I don't know how much.
I know,
you
but
know,
like also,
I mean, it's a fair argument, but I'm
memberships.
comparing show to show, not how you pay it out.
There's a shit ton of memberships they get though. KB doesn't get a lot of memberships.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I have
Chad,
not
so
paid
how am I
for
doing this
Schmuel membership in a year, and I've had it
Yeah.
for more than a year.
Yeah. Number one.
So,
You know, I gotta give it to I gotta give it to Kevin and Stevie. I gotta email them the. I made a couple of emotes for KB's channel. There's one of him like leaning forward and screaming with just just him, and then he's the number one finger, because the number one finger they have is a red one. So I wanted to create like a special blue one that says we're number one, the same one on it. So doing some work for the
I
boss.
left my 2 blue foam number 1 fingers in the hotel room in Atlantic City.
Dude, I'm such a good fan / like I'm just like good at this. Like you guys, people would love 100 Dave Sarahs as fans of their shows.
They would. Co-hosting with them, I'm not so sure, but
I'm a fucking fan of their co-host then, stupid. What do you want me to say? I'm your fucking co-host, your producer, fucking teach you all this shit. Get out of my face.
I know. I've learned
Your show
everything.
is better than my show.
The one thing I do want to say when we're talk about the paying 5 people versus 1 person or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can look up the numbers in Super Chat and on Playboard, but the value of a Kevin Brennan Super Chat is much higher than what Schmuel gets. I think.
I'm sure. The average Super Chat price, 100%.
Like KB gets a lot of $49.99. I usually a lot, but he gets $49.99. He's got like that Permaseal guy's been dropping 100, 150 a show.
Yeah,
right?
He has been. I don't know. I wonder if that's the legend. Somebody was saying, was that you that said you think it's the legend?
No, other people did. He says he's not the legend, but I don't know.
I don't know. Did I tell you?
I find it hard to believe that a new pay pig moved into this universe.
No. So Chad made $3,000 last month. Not bad. What did BYB make? Let's see what Dabbler made. But okay. Well, the thing I was gonna ask you was fucking. God damn it. What are we talking about right now?
Diggity. It's not the legend. You have some inside information.
Oh, yeah. Legend. So I get a message last week. I wasn't going to talk about this. I get a message last week. I told you though. I get a message from a guy. This was when Kevin was on Rumble, and the legend was somebody claiming to be the legend was super chatting, Rumble ranting Kevin Brennan. And I get a message that night from like some random name, but it's like of the legend, and his things locked, and some people that I followed him. Like I don't remember who exactly. Protected tweets. He starts going off about like how this Von Hayes guy has been doxing him, or not I don't know, like fucking with them and talking shit. I don't know about doxing, being a real meanie basically. And he writes this whole long thing, all kinds of shit, just talking about Von Hayes and Kevin and yada yada and blah 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 blah. And then he deletes his account, and then the messages disappeared. But he claimed to be the legend and blah blah, and like just to watch out about this Von Hayes guy. That's basically all I could take from it, because he fucking deleted his account afterwards. So
because
people
people
like so SOO, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that there was talk that the Von Hayes character was the legend. Anyway, we're going to close with this tonight, my friend. Mint Diggity, I asked the question, do you have inside information that the Permaseal is not the legend? Mint Diggity, yes, actually I do. So
cool.
There you have it on good authority. Mint Diggity is the guy that we would trust. All right, guys. It has been a blast. You have exceeded your free usage limit.
Yeah, I guess you can't show. I can't.
You only can do so many searches.
I guess so. Pretty cool.
All right. I want to stay under 2 hours, so that's what we're going to do now. Dave, tell us your plugs.
David Sarah, you can find me on YouTube. Here, I'll put it in chat. And also, I need everybody to go to my Rumble channel and follow me so I can qualify for their event this month.
Mint Diggity, I believe you and trust you on that. All right. So then that's it. So I am Schmuel Buckman. YouTube, Schmuel _ Buckman. You and on X at Buckman Schmuel. Dave will put up my info because he's a really cool guy. And I am out of here. We will see you Thursday night at 7 p.m. or sooner if there's breaking news or anything other than that happens. All right. Good night, guys.